What's up everyone, this is Soul, and this is an off day sort of video, although this has been a pretty kind of a hot topic that I can't really resist jumping right into just real quick right before the 10.0.5 patch comes out in just a couple days. So we had learned just recently, thanks to, I think there was a post from Taliesin, and then now Wowhead has posted this. It's with regards to this Warden set that was data mined a couple weeks back, and people got really excited over earning this thing somehow, some way. We weren't quite sure how that was going to be done. People had thought that, hey, it's going to be a trading post thing, and maybe it's going to be something that's, it'll be one of the rewards that comes out one of these months, right? So it turns out that according to the data mining that was uncovered, that, let me scroll back up again, in order to get at least one of these sets, we would need to complete the trading post tasks 12 times in order to earn one of these transmogs. Now, I want to be very clear that it only seems to be talking about one of these sets. The other one, we have no idea how that's going to come about. For all we know, it's a shop thing. For all we know, it is a triple mythic achievement, a Keystone Master thing, a Gladiator P. Who knows, right? But we do at least know from data mining so far that in order to get this thing, we need to fill up this here bar each month for the next 12 months. Now, what I'm gonna talk about mostly in this video is the context behind that and the kind of player behavior that we're going to kind of go through in order to go for the sets or otherwise to get these 1,000 or so points. But I want to touch at least a little bit on this debate here. I think it's too long. There's a lot of folks that have pushed back really fiercely, and for numerous reasons. I'm just going to give my take here, and I'll let you guys, folks, in the comments, leave your piece. I think 12 months is a bit too long to keep that excitement there, and that's kind of where my stance is. I think 6 months is fine, or 6 months would feel better. 6 months is at least scheduled to be a season in Dragonflight, and a season, that still takes a while, but it definitely still keeps the excitement there. It's as if it has that feeling of, hey, at the start of the season it's like this, but then by the end we get a thing, and that's what it would feel like if this thing were to come out in like 6 months or so. But right now it's 12. Who knows though? The WoW team could always change this. They could always buck under pressure. But I don't mind the merits of what it takes to get this transmog or any of these sets, because, well, the trading post is just kind of a gimme. It is it's a measuring stick of not so much how hard are you playing the game, but just are you participating in the many different kinds of content that World of Warcraft has to offer. And again, we're going to go into the context of, what this really means. Is this going, what it means for your player behavior. One of the big counter arguments that come from this is that, hey, this is way better than the holiday achievement, the one that offered the violet proto drake. I'm sorry. Which happened to be, I believe, please correct me if I'm wrong here, a mount that would automatically unlock 310 speed flying at the time, if your character got that. So if your character was able to get that, then they got 310 flying right away. Now it's account wide, whatever, we're way past that. But it was a special thing back then. And it was very, time gated, and not just that, it was kind of sort of FOMO, because if for whatever reason, because of a PvP thing, or because you just weren't good enough at a thing, there was a chance that you could miss an opportunity to complete a holiday achievement, and thus you'd have to wait until the next year to get your next chance at getting this mount, and that has not changed. How does this compare to it? Not really, and I'm gonna get into that a little bit more. But more than anything, I would say that completing the Traveler's Log, it doesn't exactly have you go out of your way to do things. The holiday event is something that makes you go out of your way. It makes you stop doing what you're doing, sort of, to complete these things. Now, the Traveler's Log will offer some holiday stuff to do, so you can go out of your way. But I'm gonna get into that. But regardless, the debate is still going to be going on. I'm hoping that the WoW team is receptive to some of the feedback and considers the length or makes a statement on it or whatever. Worst comes to worst, though, we're going to be, many of us are at least going to be playing the game. This requirement does not ask for 12 consecutive months of completing this trading post thing. So ultimately, I don't think it's like so bad. It's just that it's going to leave players seething over the next 12 months. It's like, this is my entire focal point, the reason that I'm here, so I get that. I'm not trying to fight or dismiss anyone's negative feedback towards this. Again, I'm kind of with you guys there. So I kind of messed up my own testing on this, because I wanted to display for you guys, hey, this is how it works and everything, but I kind of screwed up because I finished. And when you finish, it kind of messes with the UI a little bit. Like, I can't see any of the values and what things are worth, so I'm not going to be able to very easily translate all of these things for you and give you folks an idea of what these things means. But one thing I want to do really quick, it's telling me to visit the trading post at Orgrimmar to collect my rewards. Now, the last time I did this, it bugged out. I didn't get the mount that you're supposed to get at the end of this. And let's see if I get anything here. I got literally nothing. Okay, so oh well. So that doesn't seem to be a thing. But what you would see up here is this image here, where you would fill up this bar up to 1,000, and every 200 points that you would get, every 200 travel points you get, you would get this Trader's Tender. So you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 things of Trader's Tender, and you get a cool little thing at the end, which is a mount, I believe. I think I have it here. It is right, not there. I want to show you the guys. There we go. So you would get this mount here. That seems to be what is coming at the end of this. At the end of this trader's trading post session for this month. You get to the very end. Now you do see two colors there, which I find a little bit curious. So we may get one color, we may get both, not sure. And that's what might be applied. That could be what applies to this upcoming Warden set, is that maybe it is going to be both sets. It's not just going to be one set and then the other comes from somewhere else. It could be both sets. So let's get to what we actually do in agonizing detail. Because it's kind of, because it's at least important. There's a lot of misinformation going out there about like what it takes to do. Do you literally just log in and get stuff? No, not exactly. You do get, when you log in the first day of each month, you're able to get 500 or so of this Trader's Tender just by going over to the treasure chest, picking that stuff up, and then you fill up this bar here, get it to 1,000, and then you can get up to another 500 from that chest, including like whatever goodie prizes at the end. Now, we don't know what's going to happen each and every month. Maybe it's going to be a mount. Maybe one of the Warden sets will appear. Maybe it's just going to be some extra Trader's Tender. Maybe it's going to be a lump of coal. Maybe it's going to be freaking BattleNet bounce. I don't know, but there is a little something to expect, if we complete this thing every month. So on top of everything that we're going to be getting, on top of all the stuff that we're going to be buying with this Trader's Tender, by the time we get to this 6 or 12 months or whatever, we're going to have a lot of stuff. And we're going to get a transmog set. So it's going to be kind of a long and profitable journey. Very agonizing, I bet, because, people want that, but anyway, let's finally get to what's going on. Quick story of what I did. I guess since it's at the top of the list, I'm going to show you guys what it is that I did in order to get this 1,000 or so tender. Now, some of these were a little bit buggy. I completed like one part of the objective, and then all of a sudden I completed the entire thing, so it's a bug. But really, let's just go over it. Defeat 25 raid bosses. This is any raid boss, whether it's Dragonflight raid boss, whether it is an ICC raid boss that you just one-shot. I happened to go into, oh shucks, I believe it was, Emerald Nightmare, and I killed one of the, I killed the Nithendra, one of the first bosses, boom, and I got credit. So this seems to count regardless of your level, regardless of the raid that you finish off, you get a thing. And this, I believe, gets you 200 Trader's Tender, which is a big chunk of what's going on. Complete the optional Waking Shores storylines. And keep in mind that this is something that these are requirements that you can fulfill across multiple characters. So going back to these 25 raid bosses, if you do like 2 or 3 ICC clears because you're trying to farm for Invincible, you're done. 200 points, boom. You can go ahead and collect, a couple of them, a couple of Trader's Tender. Complete the optional Waking Shores storylines. Now, this is kind of a weird thing because this is kind of a grandfathered. If you had already done this, then you're already going to get a certain amount of credit just for, for the most part, logging in if you had completed all of these quest lines across any number of your characters across the account. Fulfill crafting orders. You can see there I only fulfilled 1, but apparently it's 10. Considering that on average a player is asked to complete 5 or so throughout the course of a week, in order to get those, KP or knowledge points, something like this isn't terribly difficult to do if you're cheesing it. Of course, most folks, including myself, were cheesing it because we can't really rely on crafting orders, public crafting orders at the very least. Some people have no problem with this, but I would say that completing 10 over the course of a month across any number of characters is fairly possible. Earning rep throughout the Dragon Isles. It asks for 4,000 rep. Come on, that's easy. That's what I did here. I pulled out some of the account-wide rep tokens and I just used them. I just used, in fact, I transferred multiple of the same characters and then just used the currency, so it was like 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000 because the rep boost count towards this thing. So you'll get this this is automatic pretty much. Use Happy Pet Snacks. Happy Pet Snacks can be bought from Briani over in Northrend Dalaran. I bought a couple of those. I only used 1. I happened to get full credit, but it's only like a couple of silver to use each one. So that's very easy. Show some love to the dragon aspects. You just go up to the dragon NPCs, hit /love a couple times, and then you get it. This I believe was cheap. And this I would say, some of these you do go a little bit out of your way to get, but in terms of difficulty, it's not exactly a big deal to go to the dragon aspects and hit love, or to go to the trading post, which is right here. This is in Orgrimmar, and show some love to these 2 NPCs and one of these target dummies here, and that was it. So that's what I did. These are the things that I did, and I completed the monthly requirement. This took me less than an hour to do. So, and this was me thinking about these things. I'm like, ooh, I'll do that one, because for the purpose of testing and showing this off in a video, this is what to do. But we're gonna go through pretty much everything. I'll go through it by section here, just so it's a little bit easier to understand. So we did these 3 things. These are Dragonflight specific things, very cool. Well, let's go through the rest. Defeat Dragon Isles Master Tamers with Dragonkin pets, and it even shows you which ones, as if it's like a quest, and you can track these things by shift clicking. You can take a look and see exactly which ones you need to complete. So in this case, once you get through it, and you could, for the most part, I know a lot of people don't like pet battles. I'm kind of one of them, but they're very easy to do. You just take level 1 pets, and in this case, take some Dragonkin pets with you. And just slam a bunch of these guys, and that's kind of it. For some people, they may not be able to do this one at all, but it's not that big of a deal. Killed 10 Dragonflight raid bosses. Whether it's Raid Finder, Normal, Heroic, Mythic, across multiple characters. If you're just doing stuff over the course of a month, not too big of an ask. Not everyone does raiding at all. Some people don't even bother with Raid Finder. Totally respect that, but there's thousands of points that you can get here. So let's keep going. Complete 2 Grand Hunts with the Maruk Centaur. Anyone who is fairly experienced with how Grand Hunts work kind of know how that works. Completing 2 of them over the course of a month, not that big of a deal. Group dragon riding races are a little bit or are something that you will go a little bit out of your way for, because you have to find where the group race is going, and then actually, do it. Some folks don't have some folks don't even know what it is or where it is. You just got to try to find an icon on the map that indicates where the group race is. Sometimes people participate, sometimes they don't. So this one might be a little bit harder to do, or it might be super easy if you do it with friends. Now there are some holiday specific ones, and you can see that there's a time range from February 6th to February 20th to use, in this case, a romantic picnic basket. If you already have one, you're done. Very easy. Or to use the Petals Feet Hearthstone, again, very easy. So I guess these, even though these are holiday achievements, they're ones that ask you to do Dragonflight content. Complete weekly gathering quests. If you have a gatherer, this is definitely a gimme. Complete a PvP world quest. Not very hard either, I imagine. Something that a lot of us will just do automatically. Defeat special creatures during Primalist Storms. Now, this is the one that is not specific to 10.05, but it's just the one, hey, Unarmed Plains has that thing over in Nokoden Hold or whatever. Take out the rare. Anyone who's farming for a lariat still, easy. They are definitely going to complete this requirement, no problem. Defeat a world boss. Surely, most folks are going to take on a world boss once across one of their characters over the course of this month. Fishing up items, thanks to add-ons like Better Fishing, it's just a one-button thing. Fish up 50 things. Unfortunately, the Tuskar lockboxes do not count as fishing, as much as I hope that it would, but you got to fish up manually. Loot war supply chests in Dragon Isles doing PvP stuff. That's 5? Oh, that's kind of a lot. Mercy to the people who are unlucky enough to just not have the faction be in their favor whenever a supply chest happens to pop up. So I'd say this one's a little bit harder to get. Complete the siege on Dragonbane Keep. Easy, self-explanatory. Harpoon fish with a friend. This is the one where if you're doing like the world quests where you're harpooning stuff, if anyone happens to be with you doing it, or if you happen to see someone doing it, stalk them, wait until they harpoon something, do the same thing, you'll hit the requirement. Do it with 5 friends. This one's a little bit harder. This one you may have to join a group if you're doing like a big lunker farming party. That one's not so hard either though. Do a Tuskar feast, do it and complete 10 tasks. I think over the course of a month we'll be okay. Use the buddy system while climbing. I don't even know what the buddy system is. I believe it has something to do with it. I think there's a button where you use to refill someone's vigor or grip. I haven't used it yet, even when questing with alongside my wife, but I'm not a jerk about it, but I just don't know what that is. But I imagine not so bad either. Now, this is Dragonflight specific stuff. What if you're like, I don't even own Dragonflight, right? I want the rewards. I don't even want to pay full price for this thing. I'm going to play it when it's on sale. You can still complete requirements just fine, because there are many, many other sections here that have nothing to do with Dragonflight or current content that you can do anyway. So let's take a look. Dungeons and raids. I already talked about defeating 25 raid bosses. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter what your level is. You get it, no problem. Complete 10 dungeons. This one does matter because it says complete dungeons that yield experience. And so I double checked. I took this character down to Wailing Caverns. Not Wailing Caverns, Ragefire Chasm, because it's right below Orgrimmar. Completed the dungeon, thought I did great, didn't get credit, fine. But complete 10 dungeons that yield experience. That means if you're leveling and you're just queuing up for dungeons, you're fine. Or if you're doing endgame content. And one thing that I'm not sure about is whether or not this section right here where you complete Mythic Plus dungeons, 5 Mythic, 10, 15 Mythic, and 10 dungeons, whether that overlaps or not. But basically, if you are a Mythic Plus person, you're fine. But even if you're not, even if you're not playing Dragonflight content, you can very easily complete at least some of these requirements. Now, these are Dragonflight specific, so bummer. To kill 10 Dragonflight raid bosses. Again, Dragonflight specific, but easy. Complete 5 dungeons in a cross-faction group. Now, this one I think is going to be a bit harder. This is something that you have to do manually. So this one, I doubt a lot of people are going to be able to complete this, but oh well. Do the holiday dungeon thing once, just once, over the 14-day period, and then you'll get credits. And then show some love to fallen dragons. This one does not seem to have a holiday requirement, but if you just go to old bosses, hit love at their corpses, you'll be fine. I'm not quite sure exactly. Let's see. Is there a Deathwound corpse we can click? I guess there is. Can we click the skull or the jaw? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how this is gonna work exactly. Yeah, do we do it with like do we select the hearts and slash love? Or do we do it when they're still alive? I'm going to say we should do it when they're still alive. Holidays and events. So here are the very holiday specific things. There are some that are day specific. So like, for example, the hatching of the hippogriffs that happens on February 23rd. You got to be there on that day to do these things. For the record, I have never done hatching of the hippogriffs and most of the other micro holidays, but I am very glad that it's being included here because some people will do them and now they're going to be able to get credit towards their goals. Let's see, there is some of course there's going to be some love is in the air specific things. Bomb Blitz, I forgot what that one was totally. We already talked about the picnic, we talked about the dungeon, present the lovely charm bracelets. It's a very easy social thing. The Hearthstone, we talked about that, and set out a big berry pie over in the Darkmoon Fair. That's kind of cool that the Darkmoon Fair is also being included with something like this. I'm hoping that in March or so that they include a trial of style or something like that here. That would be very thoughtful. Pet battles. I think we talked about most of these things. Do do these Dragon Isle stuff, and then just win 15 pet battles. So people who are pet battle oriented, I do apologize again. I don't know how many points this is worth, but you at least get credit for what you're doing. Professions, we already talked about some of these. Gathering quests, fulfilling orders, fishing up the Dragon Isle stuff, and harpooning things. Yeah, so you can see like some of these some of these obviously overlap. PvP specific stuff. Earn 7,500 honor for PvPers or anyone who is a career PvPer. They're going to get this automatically. They're going to be able to fill up their, just about everything for the month in like a few hours or something like that. Just by doing stuff that they're normally doing. Complete 30 quests. This one's interesting because it's any quest. I went down to Exile's Reach. I made a new character and I did some of the tutorial stuff, and that seemed to count. I did old content. Old quests, those seem to count towards this order. So are you doing quests? Cool, you're gonna get a lot of credit towards your trading post. Complete 15 world quest. This also works anywhere. I did a Legion world quest on this character just right outside of Tumor Sargeras, where we just take out, I believe, like 20 or 25 demons. Boom, I got credits. Very easy. 15 world quest, not too much of a thing to ask for. Love's in the Air, we are doing through some of those things. Completed PvP world quest, talked about that, and used the buddy system, that seemed to be there too. And then there are some of these special things. Here's another. Earn 5,000 gold from auctions in the auction house. I couldn't test this here on the PTR because the auction house is just borked, but earning 5,000 gold from auctions is, at worst, you send an auction to yourself and you blow 5,000 gold and you lose out on whatever the deposit is, but that's as bad as it gets, really. I think one of the things that we haven't seen yet is to eat chocolate cake. Not the end of the world. Imbibe Zenzil's slow poison. I'm not quite sure what that's from. Resin players, grats to the healers, or heck, I wonder if mass resurrection works. I haven't tried that. And that's it. And that's it. That's all of them. So it's not like a huge amount of stuff, but it does seem to cover just about everything that a typical WoW player would do outside of Moonguard stuff. And that's going to get you credit towards getting this trader's tender, doing 1,000 points worth of stuff, and it really does not take very long. Across, it doesn't take a lot of outside effort. It doesn't take a lot of going out of your way to get these things in order to get, the end of, the end of month reward. And then of course, there's spending your tender on things like, on things like this. So very easy. This patch and the trading post is going to be like a, basically a big old loot box of different things that you want that you want to and feel like getting. Along with all the different transmog things, and it's just a lot of stuff coming. So I at least wanted, I know this was a long video because I went over like everything, but I really wanted to just kind of illustrate and give you guys a sense of what sort of player behavior are we going to experience with this trading post. Is there going to be a big shift? Are we going to, slack off and, at the last day of the month, are we going to be trying to slam certain things to get like those last couple of points? No doubt some people are. But I'd say that beyond completing the initial quest line to unlock this thing, afterwards, it's gonna, I think the player behavior is ultimately going to be, oh yeah, I better check my chest thing at the end of the month because I think I might have completed like most everything. And people are really going to be looking at this, either the first couple days of the month or the last couple of days, because they want to blow their points before the next thing comes, or they want to earn that reward really quick and show it off and lord it over people before they do it again with something else towards the next month. And so that's it. That's all I really want to talk about today. I know it was a lot, but I appreciate you sticking around until the very end. Please like the video if you enjoyed yourself. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys for the next thing. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.